everybody, it's Gray.
And it's Brigid, and we're back again, and this time we're going to give you our review of an Italian, English, Russian, I don't know, film called I Am Love. So, Gray, what did you think?
Interesting film. This is showing at the Circle Cinema, and sometimes they show foreign films, and usually films the other places aren't showing. Usually for a good reason. This is not a very mainstream film. This is very much an arty film, which can be really good or really bad. Best way I can describe this film is it's kind of a combination of the 50s, 60s, what they called women's films. If you're not acquainted with that particular genre, but you've seen Far From Heaven, you know what I'm talking about. Usually involves a woman trapped in some kind of social situation, tempted to edge out of her constraints, usually very melodramatic, usually a lot of attention paid to color, to texture of the film, the look of the film. But this has been kind of, there's a twist. This has been kind of combined with almost a Terrence Malick feel to it. Terrence Malick, especially the last decade, I loved his The New World. This has some things in common with it. It's very lyrical. There are parts of the film where you'll slide from the narrative into an internal monologue or people telling themselves their own stories inside their heads. And it adds a very poetic tinge to it beyond just the visual beauty. It's a gorgeous film. Not typically gorgeous. It's not bright colors. There's a lot of muted tones, a lot of browns and earth tones to this film. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Simple story. Very elegantly, very poetically told. Camera does a lot of very interesting moves. It goes up to a subject. It will study the subject. And then when it's done kind of studying the subject, unlike most films will usually cut and you'll see something else, the camera kind of backs off. The camera goes in a different direction, almost as if it's averting its eyes, almost as if you've been staring at someone across the room and all of a sudden they look back at you and you're kind of shy or you're trying to avoid their gaze and you realize that they see you looking at them. I think it kind of creates a tension to this film, or maybe a slight hesitancy, maybe feeling a little restrained socially in some regards. It's an interesting effect. I think it works very well. Overall, I loved this film. Much more than I even expected to. My good friend Jeff told me to see it because he thought I'd love it. He's absolutely right. What did you think?
I'm not nearly as enthusiastic about this film as you are. I was mostly looking forward to seeing it because I speak Italian and I like to see Italian films. I like to see the images of Italy and hear the language, and I also like to judge whether or not I think the person who's done the subtitles has done a good job. In this case, not that impressed. But anyway, again, I thought the performances were good. I liked the character development in this film. It's finally, I don't have that as a complaint. Some very interesting characters doing some interesting things. But overall, the film felt really disjointed to me. It felt like they were trying to tell more stories than they ended up telling. Like they started off with something and then it was kind of gone, or too many things were springing up here and there. And I didn't feel like it all fit into the overall picture. And so for me, I wasn't very enthusiastic about this one at all. I enjoyed seeing the images of Milan. I lived there for 6 months, so that was really cool. But otherwise, I was really disappointed. I'm glad you liked it so much.
I did.
Really
I loved it. And I have to say, in all honesty, folks, judging from the audience response, I think most people agreed with her.
Yeah.
I don't think there were a few people I heard talking as if they liked the film, but there was some audible disappointment with the film. It's kind of one of those films I think a lot of people didn't realize it was going to be over when it was over.
And that's the one. I don't have a complaint about that at all. But I don't mind films with odd endings. I don't feel like we're giving anything
and
away.
I didn't think it was really that odd. This isn't like No Country for Old Men, which I love the ending, but I could see where that would throw people off.
But I love when you see movies like this and you hear people in the audience going, "Oh."
So there was a lot of that.
There was a lot of that.
And this is, I think, you have to assume this is largely a regular Circle cinema goers. These are people who are somewhat used to the foreign films, the offbeat films. Dumb guy alert. This is not a dumb guy film.
No.
Salt came out this weekend. You got your movie. Let the rest of us watch ours. So overall, she was very disappointed. Many people in the audience were very disappointed. I really enjoyed the film. Very atmospheric, very simple story. It pulled me in. I was captivated, and I followed it right through to the end, which I found very moving.
Well, like I said, I'm really glad that he had such a good time.
Not much of a fight here in us tonight.
Sorry.
So, I Am Love, for you Tulsa folks, is showing at the Circle Cinema this week. Catch it if you like to listen to me. If you listen to her and everybody else apparently on the planet, give it a pass.
But if you do go, you will enjoy, of course, the beautiful spoken Italian language, which is always wonderful to hear. The Italian title for this film is Io sono l'amore. See, doesn't that already sound better?
It does sound nice. Maybe we should mention, this says Tilda Swinton is the star in it, so it actually has a face you might recognize if you remember from Michael Clayton, or I believe the Lion Witch Wardrobe movies.
Yeah,
she's
the
Snow
Queen or whatever.
White Witch character.
Yeah.
That's it. I Am Love. We will see you later. Till then, bye everybody!